What's up, home buddies? Today's case study took a lot of work, but I think it was all worth it. And there's going to be a very exciting surprise at the end of the video. So if you don't have a lot of time, you can use the little time code jumpers down below to get to the exciting stuff. But honestly, there's a lot to unpack, and you're probably going to want to go back and see how it was all done so that you can make use of this cool surprise. So if you've got the time, you can start with me from the beginning. Over the last couple weeks, I've experimented with putting a virtual performer in a virtual stage. I've then experimented with putting a virtual scene partner on that stage with you. So I wanted to flip around this week and focus on how to get a virtual audience. During my talk last month with Theater Communications Group, I talked about the importance of physically representing your audience to really increase engagement and the sense of synchronicity, especially for virtual theater experiences. The privilege of getting connected with Heather Harvey at Black Revolution Theater Workshop, who was telling me about their unique experience cultivating new works and developing new voices within their community and with their audiences in a way that's really hard to replicate in a time like this. You can check out a link to donate and see their work in the description down below. We talked about a lot of really cool case studies that are happening with 360 video and virtual reality, but Heather ultimately felt that was inauthentic to their community, given a level of access for their performers and their audience to that emerging technology. She also confided in me that Zoom really wasn't the way to go for them because people felt kind of on top of each other or stifled or often left out of a conversation as they were waiting for each person's turn to go around the conference, rather than be able to have those constructive sidebars or brainstorming sessions where the energy just kind of flowed. So I wanted to find an environment virtually that might simulate that more organic workshop experience. Ever since my spring lab at NYU hosted their final presentations in VR chat, I've been very intrigued about the potential of social VR platforms to host distance education and distance events. For example, if you have an Oculus or a Rift headset, you absolutely have to check out the Under Presents, which is improvising and creating experiences with actors in virtual space. However, and I cannot stress this enough, most performers and audiences don't have access to a virtual reality headset. So we need a platform that offers ubiquitous access for anybody to try out a virtual environment. And so today I'm going to hubs.mozilla.com, which is a social VR platform that can be accessed from any browser, although they prefer you use Firefox, and also any device. Using the same URL, you can log in on your VR headset, your personal computer, or your mobile device. I can walk around the space similar to an interactive video game. On the computer, I just use my arrow keys, and then I click and drag my mouse to look around. On my mobile device, I'm going to pinch and squeeze to move, and then tap and drag or double tap to be able to interact with different objects. And using my headset, I can look around normally, or I can drag my view using the paddle, as well as interact with objects and teleport to predetermined waypoints. Mozilla lets me create a room from a variety of different pre-built and optimized scenes that I just click on, and it changes my room to that environment, ready to go. I can add 3D objects like a sword in my environment, which I can then make bigger or manipulate or pin to leave it in the room after I've left. I can draw and make notes or sketches inside the room. There is a chat option for the room. I can also write text on the screen. I'm able to share pretty much any video or media or screen sharing within this environment, and I can even take a picture, like a selfie, of my avatar in the world, which, if I don't like my avatar, I can just go up to my name and change the avatar at any time. By holding down spacebar, I'm presented with a variety of emojis that I can click on to share my experience. It'll also show me different waypoints of where I can move throughout the environment and let me interact with a variety of different objects. Mozilla HUBS also uses spatial audio, so the closer I am to something, the louder I hear it, and the further away I am from something, the softer it is, kind of like real life. So you can break off into side groups or stage different media clips all over the room so that the closer you are to them, you can just enjoy that experience. Now, if I want to customize this experience, I just go up to the menu, go to Room and Scene Info, and now I click on the name of the template, and I remix inside Spoke, which is a built-in cloud-based program that Mozilla lets you completely design the experience from the ground up. or bring in any model from Sketchfab as long as it's in GLB or GLTF format. Heather was telling me that BRTW has a very specific coffee shop that they hold their monthly event. So I figured right off the bat, why don't I grab a 360 photo of a coffee shop and see if I can populate that in the space. I went looking for an HDRI or 360 panorama photo, inserted one of these stock images as a photo in Spoke, set it to 360, and made it huge so that it surrounded the entire audience. Now I hit publish, and when I go back to my room to change the scene, there's a new section called My Scenes where I can select my 360 Spoke project. Okay, this is not great, but I did take like 5 minutes in a random 360 photo to just try this out. So maybe using Spoke, I could go a step further and use their architecture assets or my own 3D model to really customize a full environment. So I tried to put together a basic layout of the coffee shop where BRTW hosts their workshops. So let's see, I've got some brick walls, small cafe table, they've got this little stage, and there's a screen up there. Okay, let's add some chairs, you know, real quick and terrible here, and hit publish. Okay, now I have a customized room that is ready for my event. Mozilla can only host up to about 25 people before the experience starts to lag a little bit. However, there is something called the lobby before you enter the experience. And if you just stay in the lobby, anybody can attend and just see a thumbnail image of what's happening inside the room and be a part of the chat. We can also use our virtual cam trick from our first video to stream this experience back out to any video conferencing platform or any other streaming service. That opens up our audience even wider. Okay, so now anybody can build a room, publish it, and then invite and host an audience for a virtual event. It's pretty cool, but maybe it could be a little bit better. If I can take any GLB 3D model and just bring it into Spoke or bring it into Hubs, couldn't I just design an entire venue and just bring that in all as one? Let's find out. Now, before we get too deep, I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. I've spent the last 2 years teaching myself 3D modeling and 3D animation for A Tale Told by an Idiot, which is my Macbeth adaptation set in a virtual reality game company. I do not expect the majority of theater makers to go out and start watching YouTube videos to teach themselves how to make these assets. And right now we need immediate, efficient, and sustainable solutions to keep theaters open. So I thought maybe I should just build one for everybody to use. Okay, so this is the special surprise that I teased at the beginning of the video. I have designed a complete theater-going experience that allows anybody, anywhere, right now, to host virtual audiences for a virtual production, reading, workshop, you name it. The place is yours. I am very proud to present the Brendan Bradley Future Stages, a ready-to-use and optimized virtual venue for live performance events. You simply create a room for each individual performance, and this is very important because once you give that link out, anybody can come at any time. So you don't want previous ticket holders to return a second night and clog up the experience for new users. When I'm inside the room, I can change the name and the settings. I recommend turning off most of the interactivity for your audiences so they don't draw on things or animate objects in the middle of your production. Now in the room settings, I can still remix this environment in Spoke, and it will take me to an organized Spoke project where I have labeled the areas where all you have to do is replace the URL of your show art and live stream link, and it's ready to go. For some reason, YouTube videos don't play very well with Mozilla, but Twitch works great, and you can watch my past videos for how to put yourself and a scene partner right there into a Twitch stream. Now, once you customize all your settings, you're gonna wanna double click on the lobby waypoint item. This is gonna allow you to essentially set your thumbnail for the experience. Whenever somebody shows up, before they ever enter the experience, I've set this at the back row of the theater so they can see the stage, they can see everybody in the audience, and they can chat with anyone who's in the room. This way, if someone just doesn't totally feel comfortable entering the experience or technically capable, they still get to see the show. Talking to you, Grandpa, I expect to see you there. Now, if someone chooses to enter the room, they will enter the experience at my preset spawn point. I've set this at the corner of the street to show off your show branding and the exterior of the theater. Look, if you miss going to the theater, there's something really exciting about walking into a venue for the first time in months. A quick nerdy note about this, I actually took an entire day to play around with the spatial audio with a New York City street, and then entering a lobby with a little pre-show banter and energy, and then entering the theater as things kind of hushed. However, the spatial audio that works in PC and VR did not work in mobile. Instead, it just played everything at full volume at the same time, and it was a disaster. So to just keep everything uniform, I've taken them out of this experience. However, maybe something someone could play with for the future. Your audience can line up for the show, check in at the box office, mingle around in the lobby, enter the theater and find their actual seat number, and then after the show, walk out to the stage door to meet the cast and crew. It's so cool. I highly recommend that you get someone to act as your virtual house manager and hang out in my little box office desk area to answer any technical questions, and also to be able to kick or mute anyone who's being distracting inside the experience. All you have to do is create an account and a new room at hubs.mozilla.com. Change the scene to the Brendan Bradley Future Stages template, edit that scene in Spoke, and insert your own link for your show art and live stream destination. Double-click and adjust the lobby view, hit publish, and you're ready to host your event. I'm releasing the Future Stages under the Creative Commons BYND license, which means it is completely free so long as you credit me and the venue and don't break stuff. I just can't guarantee if you start altering things that it's still gonna work. Trust me, I have pushed Spoke to the brink on this one, so if something's bugging you, it probably bugged me too, and changing it too much meant that the whole experience crashed. This virtual venue is ready to go right now, from anywhere. I think everybody should and could be hosting their own live performance experiences without any additional technical background or special equipment. No matter your access, no matter your circumstances, this is 100% real. Please use it, share it, and invite me so that I can be there in the front row supporting your work. Let's see how many productions we can take to the Future Stages. If you want to continue this journey with me, you know the drill. You can like, subscribe, and share. You can leave comments down below, though please be kind. You can find me on any of the social platforms under the handle Brendan A. Bradley, and go to brendanabradley.com/future stages for a little care package on how to get started with the theater. Now go create something.